welcome back to Codesfly. In this video, I'm showing you guys how to go ahead and bot Demandware sites using AIO Bot V2. Let's go ahead and begin today's video. Before we go ahead and do so, please go ahead and drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on post notifications to know the next time we upload. And let's go ahead and begin today's video. If you want to go ahead and check out the written overview regarding this video, I'll leave it linked down below in the YouTube description to follow along. We're going to go ahead and transition into the task setup part of today's video. So let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to go into the bot here, click add new. We're going to go ahead and click Demandware, and we can go ahead and configure our tasks here. So as you guys can see, all these sites are Demandware. So we're going to go ahead and click easy supply here just for the purpose of this video. Let's go through the task creation process. The first tip is that when you're creating your tasks, ensure your product ID is correct, as that is what your task is going to be pointing towards on the site. So we're referring to this section here. So when you go ahead and enter your product ID, whether you get it from the AIO Bot Discord, your own cook group, or any type of source information, make sure it's correct, because you're essentially telling your task to go for that type of product ID. So if it is wrong, then none of your tasks will work. And if they do work, you're essentially pointing your task to an item that you don't want to check out, and you could potentially lose a lot of money if you do have a large amount of tasks. Moving on to the next tip, when configuring your proxies, ensure they are fit for the website you are botting. Easy, let's say for example we have a splash room type of release. You do want to have a large amount of proxies versus having fast proxies, because you do want to have the maximum amount of tasks you can have to maximize your chance of getting through the waiting room. So make sure to go ahead and configure your proxy list accordingly. When it comes to your sizing on Demandware, you can actually have random. As you guys can see, when we hover over this, it says in Demandware random is allowed. So if you want any random size, type in random and that is fine. However, you can go ahead and type in multiple sizes just like so, if you want to go ahead and do that by separating it by a comma. When it comes to configuring your billing profile, ensure all your details are correct. So when you go ahead and select your billing, it is correct and everything is working well. So when you go ahead and run the actual task and it goes through the checkout process and you get through the waiting room and you go to buy the product, nothing happens that results in an error, because the last thing you want to do is to go ahead and spend all this money on the drop. You get through the checkout and then your details are incorrect, and that leads to you not successfully copying the shoe. Now to go ahead and wrap up the task setup section, when it comes to configuring your tasks, make sure all your details are correct and you're setting it up in the right way. Like if we go over a few things here, make sure the product ID is right, make sure you have the right billing. You can go ahead and configure the number of tasks, make sure your sizing is right, make sure you have the right proxy list selected. And the reason why I say you should double check before creating your tasks is because when it comes to these types of releases, it is typical for people to run a large amount of tasks. So let's say you make one error during the task creation process, all of your tasks will have that same error, and that could lead to failure on drop time. And finally, no task delays are needed for Demandware releases, so there's no need to configure them. So now we're going to go ahead and transition into the summary tips part of today's video. Let's go ahead and begin. If we go over to the sensor harvester here, if cookies need to be generated for the website, ensure you have cookies generated prior to the release to avoid failure during the drop. So obviously, as you guys can see, we have a ton of Demandware sites here and a few different other sites. But let's say for our example, we want to go ahead and generate cookies for Easy Supply. You'd go ahead and add proxies if you wish. You can import cookies, you can delete all, you can begin the actual process as well, and it'll go through the process. I'm banned at the moment, but that is how the process works. So make sure you have cookies generated prior to the release. Now we're going to go ahead and shift our focus over to Open Capture. When you click this button, you can go ahead and add Gmail accounts in here. I highly recommend you do so. This is just a test one from a previous video we've done on this bot. However, I highly recommend you do add Gmail accounts and you can go ahead and utilize them. If you want to use guest, which is what we'll do in this video, you can see you can go ahead and select the solver for its purpose here, and we want to go ahead and use it for Easy Supply. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Easy Supply, and that will open up the solver. Now on the solver, we have two buttons here: test connection and test v3 score. So at any point, if I want to do test my connection to the tasks, I can click this button. And as you guys can see, it says test succeeded, so everything's good to go. It says I'm connected, and I can also go ahead and test my v3 score. Demandware sites will give you v3 types of captures, so testing it is a good idea. So as you guys can see on the recapture demo here, it says press the button containing a traffic light to continue. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and it shows my score right here, so I know this guest account is good to go. So that is going to go ahead and conclude today's video. If you guys did enjoy, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on post notifications to know the next time we upload. Make sure to go ahead and check out the written overview regarding this video. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace out.